Israel's representative to the United Nations called for the resignation of the organization's Secretary-General Antonio Guterres following his remarks on the Israel-Hamas conflict and action in Gaza. Guterres reiterated his call for humanitarian pause of Israel's offensive in the Gaza Strip, which has been sealed off from Israel's supplies of food, fuel, water and electricity, while stating he has condemned the horrifying and unprecedented acts of terror by Hamas in Israel on October 7th. This is what he added to that statement that angered the Israeli officials.
It is important to also recognize the attacks by Hamas did not happen in a vacuum. The Palestinian people have been subjected to 56 years of suffocating occupation. They have seen their land steadily devoured by settlements and plagued by violence, their economy stifled, their people displaced, and their homes demolished. Their hopes for a political solution to their plight have been vanishing. But the grievances of the Palestinian people cannot justify the appalling attacks by Hamas, and those appalling attacks cannot justify the collective punishment of the Palestinian people.
In a sharp response, the Israeli envoy even said that the United Nations chief has expressed an understanding for campaign of mass murder. Israel's foreign minister rejected connecting the violence to the occupation. He said Israel gave the entire Gaza to the Palestinians with its withdrawal in 2005.
I think that the Secretary-General must resign, because from now on, every day that he is here in this building, unless he apologizes immediately, today we called him to apologize, there's no justification to the existence of this building. This building was established to prevent atrocities. How can the Secretary-General, with his words, justify in any way the terrible atrocities that happened to our civilians, innocent civilians?
Give Palestinian Gaza till the last millimeter. There is no dispute in regards to the land of Gaza. But they take the money they receive from the world, and instead of building hospital, office building, commercial center, they took the money to dig tunnels, to build rocket factory, not for the favor of the people.
The United Nations chief has demanded an immediate ceasefire. He has stressed that the only realistic foundation for a true peace and stability is a two-state solution. Several other nations, including in Europe, are also voicing support for the solution. During the recent Cairo Peace Summit on the ongoing war, the European Union highlighted that a lasting peace can be based only on such solution. French President Emmanuel Macron, who is currently on a West Asia tour, has also reiterated the need for a two-state solution, while calling for an immediate cessation of the aggression in Gaza. Meanwhile, Israel has banned the mention of Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg from the Israeli public education curriculum. Thunberg has expressed support for Gaza while sharing an image on social media platform X. The 20-year-old, along with 3 other activists, were holding placards in support of Gaza. And for more on this, we earlier spoke to Sergei Sumleni from Berlin. He's a defense expert and director of think tank European Resilience Initiative Center.
Well, it is an incredibly complicated military task, and we know that the Israelis, they tried to do it several times, and every time it was an extremely complicated task. Look, it is a city warfare. It is a warfare in a very highly densely populated area with a lot of underground tunnels, with a lot of human shields. And we know that Hamas is famous for using civilians as their human shield. So every time when the Israeli army tries to go into Gaza and find those who are responsible for the terror attacks, civilians die. And you just cannot start this operation and run this operation without taking into consideration that civilians will die, and maybe many civilians will die. This will not only undermine the justification call this operation in eyes of the international community, this will also mobilize more Palestinians to join Hamas or to develop like some hostile approach towards Israel. So it is a lose-lose situation for Israel, and of course it's a hard task. And don't forget that many Israeli soldiers can die in this operation, and after having suffered with the unprecedented losses, 1,400 civilians have died during the Hamas terror attack. Now, thinking that like some dozens or hundreds of Israeli soldiers will have to die, it is also a hard decision. Still, as I wrap it up, it is impossible to imagine that this Hamas threat can be finished without the army of Israel Defense Forces, enter Gaza, clean up and find those terrorists and destroy the Hamas structures. It is also in the interest of Palestinians because many of them are also suffering under the Hamas rule, and Hamas is not famous for being kind to those who oppose it inside or outside.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.